The rise and fall of Muhammad Ali. What do you get when you mix a stolen bicycle, a Louisville cop, a mouth faster than a jab, and a soul that refuses to kneel? You get the most electrifying, controversial, and beloved athlete the world has ever known, Muhammad Ali. How did a hyperactive kid from Kentucky become the heavyweight champion of the world at 22? Why did he throw away his Olympic gold medal in disgust? What made him reject his birth name and embrace a new identity that shook America to its core? This is not just a boxing story. It's a tale of rebellion, redemption, and rumble. From the moment young Cassius Clay stormed into a gym to avenge his stolen Schwinn, to the night he made Sonny Liston quit in Miami, to the day he told the U.S. Army, "I ain't got no quarrel with them Viet Cong." This journey punches through politics, religion, love, loss, and legacy. Why did the press refuse to call him Muhammad Ali? What tore him apart from Malcolm X? How did Parkinson slow his body but never his spirit? And what does it mean when a man's tombstone reads, "Service to others is the rent you pay for your room in heaven"? Cassius Jr. entered the world on January 17, 1942, in Louisville, Kentucky, a city where segregation wasn't just policy, it was the air you breathed. His father, Cassius Sr., was a billboard painter with a jazzman's soul and a temper that could rattle windows. He'd belt out tunes one minute and belt out opinions the next. His mother, Odessa Grady Clay, was the calm in the chaos, a domestic worker with a Baptist heart and a spine of steel. She kept the family grounded with prayer, patience, and cornbread. The Clays lived in a neighborhood where dreams were rationed and racism was routine. Cassius Jr. was a whirlwind of energy, a chatterbox with a motor mouth and a mischievous streak. His younger brother Rudolph, later Rahman Ali, was his loyal sidekick, often dragged into schemes that involved everything from backyard boxing matches to impromptu sermons on greatness. In 1954, at age 12, Cassius's beloved red and white Schwinn bicycle was stolen. It wasn't just a bike, it was his pride, his freedom, his ticket to the world. Enraged, he stormed into a local gym, fists clenched, declaring to anyone who'd listen that he wanted to whup the thief. Enter Joe Martin, a white Louisville cop and part-time boxing coach. Instead of handing Cassius a suspect, he handed him a pair of gloves. "If you're gonna whup somebody," he said, "you better learn how to do it right." And just like that, the boy who wanted revenge found his calling. Cassius trained like a man possessed. He punched bags, skipped ropes, and shadowboxed his way into local legend. He won 6 Kentucky Golden Gloves, 2 National Golden Gloves, and the Amateur Athletic Union national title. His fists were fast, his footwork faster, and his mouth unstoppable. By 1960, Cassius was ready for the world stage, the Rome Olympics. On September 5th, he faced Zbigniew Pietrzykowski of Poland in the light heavyweight final. Cassius danced, jabbed, and dazzled his way to a gold medal. He returned home a hero, only to be slapped in the face by the reality of Jim Crow. Legend has it that after being refused service at a whites-only restaurant, he threw his Olympic medal into the Ohio River in disgust. Whether myth or truth, the symbolism was pure Ali. Dramatic, defiant, unforgettable. Cassius turned pro with the backing of the Louisville Sponsoring Group, a syndicate of 11 wealthy white businessmen who saw dollar signs in his charisma. He was fast, flashy, and full of fire. He taunted opponents with rhymes that made sports writers swoon and rivals seethe. One of his favorites? "If you want to lose your money, then bet on Sonny." On February 25, 1964, in Miami Beach, Cassius faced Sonny Liston, a man with fists like wrecking balls and a rap sheet longer than a CVS receipt. Liston was the reigning heavyweight champion, feared by fighters and fans alike. Cassius danced, he jabbed, he taunted, he called Liston the Big Ugly Bear, and then he made him quit. After 6 rounds, Liston sat on his stool, refusing to continue. The world gasped. Cassius roared, "I shook up the world." And indeed, he did. Just days after shocking the world by making Sonny Liston quit in Miami, Cassius Clay dropped another bombshell. He announced his conversion to Islam, guided by the fiery intellect and magnetic pull of Malcolm X and the Nation of Islam. Clay had long been searching for identity beyond the ropes, and Malcolm offered him more than mentorship. He offered him meaning. Clay rejected Cassius Clay as a slave name, a relic of oppression. He adopted the name Muhammad Ali, meaning worthy of praise most high. The press, they balked, they scoffed, They refused to use his new name, calling it a publicity stunt, a betrayal, a joke. But one voice stood firm: Howard Cosell, the iconic sportscaster with a nasal drawl and a heart of gold. He declared, "Muhammad Ali is his name, and I'll call him that." Cosell and Ali would go on to form one of the most electric, eccentric, and endearing friendships in sports history. Ali's bond with Malcolm X was deep, like brothers in arms. They traveled together, spoke together, dreamed together. But when Malcolm split from the Nation of Islam in 1964, Ali, under pressure from Elijah Muhammad, the group's leader, cut ties. It was a painful decision. Malcolm was assassinated in 1965, and Ali later confessed, "Turning my back on Malcolm was one of the mistakes I regret most in my life." It was a moment of heartbreak, a crack in the armor of a man who rarely showed vulnerability. In 1967, Ali was drafted into the U.S. Army during the height of the Vietnam War. But Ali refused to go, citing his religious beliefs and moral opposition to the conflict. He famously declared, "I ain't got no quarrel with them Viet Cong." The backlash was swift and savage. He was stripped of his heavyweight title, banned from boxing, and sentenced to 5 years in prison for draft evasion. Though he never served time, his conviction was overturned by the Supreme Court in 1971. He spent 3.5 years in exile, unable to fight, but never silent. He toured colleges, spoke out for civil rights, and became a symbol of resistance. He wasn't just a boxer anymore, he was a movement. Ali's love life, a roller coaster with no seatbelt. In 1964, he married Sanji Roy, a cocktail waitress with sass, style, and zero interest in the Nation of Islam's dress codes. The marriage fizzled by 1966. In 1967, he married Belinda Boyd, later Khalila Camacho Ali. They had 4 children, including Laila Ali, who would become a boxing champion in her own right. But Ali's heart was a wanderer. He had affairs, including one with Veronica Porche, whom he married in 1977. They had 2 daughters, including Hana Ali, who would later write about her father's life. That marriage ended in 1986. The same year, he married Yolanda Lonnie Williams, his childhood friend. Lonnie remained by his side until the very end. In 1984, Ali was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, likely caused by the thousands of punches he absorbed over his career. His speech slowed, his movements stiffened, but his spirit, still Ali. He became a global ambassador for peace, visiting countries, promoting understanding, and inspiring millions. In 1996, he lit the Olympic torch in Atlanta, his trembling hands holding the flame of hope. In 2005, he received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian honor in the United States. Ali passed away on June 3, 2016, in Scottsdale, Arizona, at the age of 74, surrounded by family. His funeral in Louisville, Kentucky was a global event. Dignitaries, athletes, and fans from every corner of the world came to pay tribute. Speakers included Billy Crystal, Bill Clinton, and Atala Shabazz, the daughter of Malcolm X, a full-circle moment of reconciliation and reverence. His tombstone reads, "Service to others is the rent you pay for your room in heaven." Muhammad Ali didn't just fight opponents, he fought injustice, ignorance, and illness. He was bold, brilliant, and beautifully flawed. He made the world listen, laugh, and learn. He was the greatest not because he said so, but because he proved it every single day. So if you've been moved by this tale of fists, faith, and fire, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more legendary stories. And remember, impossible is nothing, Muhammad Ali. Next up, Jesse Owens.